Hi, this is Lee Solden. I'm going to start teaching this audiobook. It's just something on YouTube. Just look for the link in the description of this video. We get into some grammar. This is designed for a particular person to listen to. Okay? But, hey, might benefit you. Mind you, I'm going to be going over this very thoroughly, so, beginners, I'll explain everything for beginners too. But I'm focusing on the grammar, which I don't normally do much for beginners. I like to get people very quickly picking up a lot of vocabulary and then worry about the grammar later. So here it goes. Okay. So, es ist Mitternacht. It is midnight. Okay. The only grammar in that sentence is the word es is it, ist is, and Mitternacht is midnight. You just need to know that ist is a conjugated form from the verb sein, to be. Okay, and that is obviously the is form. Okay, he is, it is. Next sentence, niemand auf der Straße. Okay, niemand is nobody. Auf is on. Der, the, Straße, street. Okay, now there's some grammar here. That der Straße, okay, they're using der for Straße. And Straße is a feminine noun. Well, so you wonder, why are they using der, not die? Because you might have learned that, well, it's die Straße. That's how you learn. You're learning genders. Well, that's based on the subject form or nominative case, you might call it. I'm just going to call it, keep it simple, call it the subject form. But there's more than one form for the for a feminine noun. Okay. Die, that's for the subject. Die is for the object. Yeah. It's for all plurals. Not all plurals, excuse me. It's the plurals for those two, for the subject and object. So it occurs 4 times in the chart on feminine the, but there's more to that chart for feminine the. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, for singulars it goes d, der, der. Okay, that's die, die, der, der. So that is in order: D for subject, D for object, der for location, and then again der for possession. Okay, and then we go to the plurals, they stay the same except for one change. So plural subject still D, plural object still D. Plural location goes to den, D-E-N, den. And then plural possessive stays D-E-R, der. Okay, so it's a pretty simple pattern. It goes just D, der, and then the plurals go D, den, der. Okay, so here, well, it's der. Okay, it says nobody on the street. Well, that sounds like location to me. I'm going to call it location anyway. There's more than one you can use accusative, but I'm going to use location for it. Excuse me, not messing up here. Okay. We're going to use location. You could call that dative. Okay. Not accusative. Accusative, that would be the corresponding to the object. Okay. So In this case, certainly not a possessive. No one's, let's see, nobody on the street. There's nobody owns anything here. So nobody's on the street. That's location. Now in German, a location is someplace where an action occurs, not something associated with an action. The action actually occur fully at that spot, such as if you have a meeting in a room, yeah, that's location of that action is in that room, then that's location. But if you walk into the room, no, the location, the action took place outside the room, didn't it? Then you walked in it. Now the rest of the action is in it. So that's not the location case. Okay, they're going to use the object case. In other words, you entered the room, right? So the room was the object that you entered. Okay, getting off track here. Back to this sentence. Nobody on the street. So we know the street is a location. Therefore, the that we modify street with, we got to use location. Well, we know that Strasse is a feminine noun. You go to the chart. It says for feminine, it goes dare. Dare for location. That's why the dare is there. Okay. But now, still more grammar. Now we have this auf, which means on. But that auf means something different depending on the case. This particular case, it's means on or on top of. Okay, it would mean something slightly different if it was in a different case. So nobody on the street. Okay. On to the next sentence. Let me see here. All is dark. Alles ist dunkel. Okay, all is dark. We'll get that ist again. Dunkel's dark. Then we got for. Fräulein von Scudery's house. Okay, for means in front of here. Yeah, Fräulein von Scudery, that's a French name. So don't worry about that. It means Miss Fräulein is Miss von Scudery's. Her name is Miss von Scudery. There's an S sitting there at the end of Scudery. Fräulein von Scudery's house, showing possessive. Okay. And see, nothing more for that sentence. Next sentence says, Da klopft es an die Haustür. Okay, that means someone knocked on the house door, but not so fast. This is not a location here. The word house tour, the house door, is a compound word, house and door put together. You have to look at the gender of door, whatever the last noun in the compound word, that's the whole word takes on that gender, right? Well, it's a feminine word. Okay. If this was if it was being used for a location, that would change to dare. So it's not. Well, what's going on here? Okay, da there, it klopft means it sounded. Okay, in other words, it sounded as a knocking sound. We say a car knocks, for instance, right? That made the car made a knocking sound. So it sounded, and this got on here, an, doesn't mean on. It means, in this case, to or toward. So toward the house door, it sounded, a knocking sound sounded. Okay. The sentence starts out with da, there. So there at that point, because they said it was midnight, and so then it says there at that point, da, there. Klopft es, so it knocked. They switched the verb and the subject around. Okay, it says saying it knocked, or, it sounded. They say sounded it. Okay, so there sounded it toward the house door. So here, again, it's being used as a reference, but it's not where the action took place. Somewhere toward the door. The so because it is the call it the object case. Well, you look at the chart for feminine, it goes D, D, dare for the singular, D, D. Okay, it says D house tour. Okay, so hey, now it makes sense. They're using the object case, the door was the object that the noise was toward. Okay. You see here, moving along. It says, wer kann das sein? Who can that be? Okay. Das is also a word for what, but here it means that. And it's referring to who. And when you refer to who there, you got to use das. It's just a grammar rule. You use das referring to who, whom, which, or what. Okay. Okay, so who, wer, can, that, das, sein, be. And sein is to be. You don't conjugate it because you already got there's a helping verb, can be. Okay, so like in English, you only conjugate the first verb in a verbal phrase, right? Okay, moving along, says natürlich öffnet niemand. That's naturally opens nobody. Niemand is nobody. Natürlich obviously is naturally opens. That's öffnet. That is just it's not too far. If you think about the F and P, öffnet, open. They're not. If you think about it, they're not that far off. I mean, you got OFFN for öffnet, and open is OP and open. So just remember that F and P. You'll see if you're an English speaker, going back between English and German, there's a whole lot of F's changing to P's between the two languages, or maybe they have an FP, it ends up being an F in our language. A lot of confusion between those two letters. So this is just the word open. So naturally opens nobody. Then it says, es gibt nur einen Mann im Haus. Okay, that means there's only one man in the house. Only one man lives there, they're trying to say. Okay, now it says, it, gibt, gives. This is a common pattern, having a T on the end for the he form, present tense. You remember öffnet had a T on the end. Now we got gibt, there's a T on the end, okay? Gives. So it gives. That's another way to say there is. Okay, it get what we go up to someone and say, hey, what gives? What's going on? What is there to talk about? So es gibt means there is, nur only, einen one, man im Haus, in the house. Im is a contraction of the words in and dame. Dame is in the house. House is a neuter noun. And looking at the chart for neuter, I'm not going to do that right now. No, not right now. But in the chart, just I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but dame is the right thing to use there. This okay. There was only one man in that house, and dame is used for location for a neuter noun. Okay. So there is only nur einen. That's an interesting word here we got to cover. Why does it say there's more than one version of a? Okay. In this case, we're using einen. It ends with an N. Okay. That goes with the fact that the word it gives. So something gives what? What gives a man? Well, the man is the object. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go on to cover more of the chart on the thes. Okay. Okay. A man is a masculine noun. Okay. And for the chart goes like this: dare, dane, dame, dace. Okay. So dare, subject. Dane is object. Dame is location. And dace, possessive. So in this sentence, we already saw that, well, excuse me, house is neuter, but okay. back to the rest of this chart for masculine. Now, remember I gave you the plurals for feminine? Guess what? Plurals never vary by person. In other words, whether it's neuter, feminine or masculine, the plurals are always the same. So if you learn those feminine plurals, d, dane, dare, those are the same ones for masculine. So again, the singulars for masculine were dare, dane, dame, and dace, and the plurals for masculine are d, dane, dare. Same as for feminine. Okay. Okay. And you can always rewind this. I'll go ahead and tell you the. I'll go ahead and tell you the ones for neuter. Neuter. Well, you already know 4 of them because I'll tell you the plurals right now are d, dane, dare. Same for all genders. 2 of the ones for neuter are the same as for masculine, so the last 2. But the first 2 for the subject and object change from masculine. They go das and das. But then it goes from there, it goes dame and dace, just like masculine. So, okay. So anyway, once you learn feminine, you know the plurals. You go to masculine, and you gotta remember that it goes dare, dane, dame, dace. Then all you gotta remember from there is that the only 2 items that change for neuter are das and das for singular subject and singular object. Okay, so that's the whole chart on the thes here. Moving along. Okay, there's only one man in the house. Okay, and in dame house. Okay, location, go to your chart. House is a neuter noun. Chart says you gotta use dame. Das, dame. Das, dame, days. Okay. So that's correct. Keeping going. It says Baptiste. Dane man for alles. The man for all. Well, okay. Dane man. Well, certainly not der man because he's not doing anything, right? He is the man for everybody. Certainly not a location, right? He's not a location. He is the man for everybody, okay? So we'll go with he's the object, okay? Or it's an active case, or other ways you can describe this stuff, but what I like to think about it this is he's definitely not if it's definitely not a location, definitely not a possessive, definitely not a subject. Ah, must be an object, okay? So it's a safe way to look at it, okay? The man for all. Well, so we have this Dane mind. Well, look at the chart for masculine. It goes der Dane name days. Der Dane Dame days. Well, Dane. Okay, we decided he's an object. He's the man for all. Okay, so it's Dane man for alles. And this is the word fur. It's the second word we've seen that's something like for, but this fur means for the sake of, okay, is the main thing. For the sake of, so the man for the sake of, okay. Okay, fur, F-U umlaut R, the man for all. And der means he, referring to the man. Okay. Now here you're wondering, well, wait a second. Why do you say Dane? Well, in this particular fraction of the sentence, he's not an object, right? They're just referring to the man. The man now, and he is so und der. That's if you look at for man, this nominative case is der. We just use der to refer to that man in this second phrase here. So, and he is not there. So he's, okay, he is not there. Der is heute, today, nicht, not, da, there. And we will call that good enough for today. Bye, everyone. If you like this kind of thing, share, like, subscribe. Bye-bye.